Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Welcome to another Witchin Hour with me and Miguel. How are you today, Miguel? What's been going on?
Good, I'm good. Super busy, super busy. Look, I'm wearing my shirt today.
I know, I saw.
I did.
That's so cool. I've got one on, but it's below. I'm too low. I angle my screen
I'm
different.
officially part of the wait, this way. I'm
You are
officially part of the
part
crew
of that. It's
right
awesome.
here. Nobody can take it away from me.
No, that's
It's
it
mine.
for life. For life. Oh, so how did
How you
you were
been?
super busy then? You had a stream earlier. I watched it and it was really good.
Yeah, we had a stream with Carlo from Bearish. It was really good, very informative, very smart guy. I loved him. He was really good. I mean, I support Bearish. I have a bunch of them. Probably
You.
gonna keep supporting them and buying some more. They're really building something unique and something really, really, really good.
Yeah, I was actually on Nifty Island the other day, and I went on their island, their Bearish Island, and had a little roam around. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I don't hold any, but I see them in spaces a lot. They seem like a really active community.
Yeah, they're very active, very strong community, like really, really strong. Because they're also connected with like the drip guys and all those Tolly and all those guys. So um they're like really, really good.
Yeah, yeah, it was a good show. I was really interested on his take in digital currency and all that kind of stuff he
Yeah.
was talking about. Yeah, super interesting guy. So yeah, so you've been like one show into another. It's like being a superstar. Like
Super busy.
aiming it
But
over.
yeah, I enjoy the stuff. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's really good.
I love this stuff.
Yeah, so we've got on the right side here, that's our latest Mystic Moon. So that's the only update really that I've got for this week. She's called Raker and she's the ghost moon. Sometime it can be July, it can be August, the ghost moon. It all depends on the way the moons are falling in the year. So it's the seventh moon of the year. It's a big festival. They're a Buddhist festival where they welcome spirits of the dead back home and they guide them by lighting these beautiful coloured lanterns.
Yeah.
And they do a dance then to kind of send them back on their way peacefully, So it's a really nice idea. So I thought, yeah, I
Yeah, I
thought
love it.
as we're creepy as well as cute, I thought we'll go for Ghost Moon this year because it's also the Sturgeon Moon, but I did that one
Yeah.
last year. So yeah, so she's the new one. She's the one you can get if you mint 2 Lunar Witches. You get her as an airdrop. So
Yeah, I'm gonna
probably
have to go back to more.
probably coming on a t-shirt soon as well. I would imagine.
This one's really cool. I mean, I love the dress, like the little ghost and like just the details. It's really good.
Yeah, I liked having her floating rather than having the more solid edges that she would
Yeah.
normally have. So yeah, so
Yeah, I
yeah,
love
so
that.
that's good. And I've been finishing all the different trading cards as well. I was working on those after I finished work today. So I've going to be speaking to NF Creeps. He's got his guy who does his trading cards said he's happy to have a chat with me about doing some for me. So that'll be really cool. But that guy handcrafts all the cards. So
Oh,
he does all the holographic himself. So the cards are slightly
oh
thicker,
wow.
probably why. And I kind of like that idea. I like the fact that they're not just printed, that they're handcrafted. So obviously limits the run that you can do. You can't do millions, obviously, but I think I kind of like that idea for us. So
Yeah, I like that.
yeah.
It's a good
So yeah,
idea.
I thought it was a cool idea. Thank you. But yeah, as I said to Steve, he doesn't shout enough about that. Really,
You should.
um, he should because his cards are they're a lot thicker than a normal trading card. They feel like something special, So yeah, I'm gonna have a chat to that guy. So more updates on the trading cards soon for sure. But we've got a really cool guest on tonight.
I know. Excited.
I know. Dave's like family, so he's part of the FCW. He's like one of the best humans I know. So yeah, I'm excited to share his stuff. Just met him in New York. So like I met you. It's cool. So I'm gonna get him on. Hang on. Let's get Dave on. Here we go. Welcome. Hey
Welcome,
Dave.
welcome.
Hey, what's going on?
Good. How are you?
Oh, good. How's
Oh,
everybody? How's everything going over that way? And how's the weather and stuff?
Oh yeah, we've had it cook like it is cooking in the UK, like ridiculously hot. So and
Same
you
here.
We've had like sunshine for the whole summer. The odd day of like a light rain, but that's it. It's been glorious. So yeah, I'm sporting my Wally Mark from my watch strap. It's like I've actually got a tan for a change. But yeah, it's really cool. But look at you, you're like in a proper cave of wonder, all that art behind you, Dave.
Yeah, look at all that art behind you. This looks cool.
Yeah, some of my on the other side, you can't see it here, but I got a little man cave, and then on the other side, I got my little brewery, and just some of the art pieces I got hanging up in there. And then I was like, yeah, I might as well bring them back here, just so if anybody's wants to check it out and see some of the stuff that I do, I figured I'd move it back here, and then when I'm done, I'll hang it back up on the wall. But
Oh, it's wicked. I love it. It looks
love
really cool. I'm going to share all your stuff on screen in a minute anyway. But for those who don't know who you are, do you want to like do a little brief introduction and what it is you do? I know that's kind of like a massive question, but just like a little one, and then we'll dig deeper.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Uka Swaka. It's it was an old gamer tag that I use. I mean, I'm an old dude, so it was a long time ago. I played like Quake. That was my gamer tag in Quake 2 or 3. I think. So, and actually, I made it, and then my oldest son, he was like three or four at the time, and he would play and he was getting really good at that young age. And it was just a word I made up because I didn't want to have like Uka Swaka or Dave at whatever, Dave 7, a whole string of numbers. So I just kind of invented a word. It did come from a weird source. It was a little psychedelic induced, back in the time. That's where I got the name from. The tree told me, but it was, I don't know if you ever heard that song, like it goes like Uka Chaka, Uka Chaka. Well, that was on the radio, and I kept hearing Uka Swaka, Uka Swaka. I just made that word, and then I just stuck with it. So now it's in the universe. So, but that's where I got my name from, and I've been an artist my whole life, just drawing ever since I can remember. I don't remember a time that I never drew. And then I always drew through high school and whatever, and then we get to life hits you, and you got to start making money, and then you're having kids, and you got 3 kids, you got a responsibility. So, I had to, kind of put that on the back burner. I'd always just sketch around, sketchbooks and stuff like that. And now my kids are grown. I'm the one that lives with me now is my daughter. She's in her 3rd year of college right now. And my 2 oldest boys, they moved out, and we have custody of my niece, she's only 12. So, but now I have time now, I'm still working. Obviously the art's not paying the bills, but I'm in a situation where I got more time to spend on art, mostly from like now through to like early spring. And then I'm usually busy for like 3 or 4 months, but that's just, now I'm back in art, and that's, I was like, how can I start having people like get eyes on my art? And then I started learning about NFTs about 3.5 years ago. And then I just went down this deep rabbit hole. I'm like, okay, how are they making, they're drawing 10,000 of these things, like how are they doing that? So I'm like, okay, traits. So then I actually learned how to do a little, programming and, learning how to stack layers. And, so then I was just there for a while, like probably 3 years ago, I was addicted to it. I probably have 17 NFT collections on my computer, just where I was just running, let's see what this looks like. Let's draw this little thing here. And then I started learning about, contracts and all that stuff. So then I got in, and at the time it was like Third Web was big, and free contract, whatever, blah 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 blah. So I threw a free mint out there on Polygon. It was just a skull, and it was just my PFP skull pretty much. But then I would just change the traits and put like eyeballs in it and whatever, and like put teeth and nothing crazy. And I made 1,000 of them, put it on Polygon for free, and then I just started going around spaces and posting some of my old drawings and stuff like that. And and now looking back, it's been it's almost like over 3.5 years ago. So it's crazy how fast time flies. But now people see my art, and I got back into doing some paintings and stuff like that. So I'm excited, and I got to do something every day art wise, or I just don't I just feel like I've done nothing. You know what I mean? So.
Is there anyone in your family creative that inspired you, or was it something like, is it part of like your family sort of life? Like
No.
no,
Well,
no.
my mom used to draw whenever I was little. I remember she would do these like little, they're almost psychedelic drawings. She'd draw like a star, she'd draw like a cloud and a little Minnie Mouse, and she would like connect them with like little almost rainbow lines. And
Yeah,
then she would like color them or something, but nothing crazy. But
yeah.
no, I was just, I remember coming home, I think it was like seventh grade, and I had this book, and it was just like, it had these really cool horse drawings in it. And I was like, and it was like around November, like whenever you get off for Christmas break. And I took that home, and I'm like, I'm going to learn how to draw this stuff. So I would just draw it, and then I like, look at it and draw it, look at it and draw it, and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
That's
And like I
amazing.
said, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just amazing. I was similar. For me, it was birds and horses. That's what I did. I used to just repeatedly draw them, and like just It's funny how you like fixate on something and go, I want to be able to draw that perfectly, and you just kind of practice, 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 practice. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think later on, fast forward to high school, I got an airbrush, and I was doing Marvel comics on people's jeans and selling them for like $20. You know what I mean? So I get some weed money or something like that, some beer money for the weekend. Hey, then I'd have people that come up and be like, hey, let me, I want this, Gene. We did a mural at a pizza shop, 17 years old. They paid us in pizza. So, stuff like that, just long time ago now.
Yeah, that's it. What's your favorite sort of way to create? Is it painting, or do you like the digital?
Uh, My favorite is just a black roll pen, a cheap Bic pen, and paper. That's my favorite. I don't know why, and I have so much, and that's how I drew for years. Like
Yeah.
it's just all, I don't know why. It's just, but now and I didn't even really, never really painted before until maybe about it's been about 2 years now. And I was like, you know what, I would paint, and then I was like, I think I can just figure this out. And the weird thing about it is, like, that big oil painting right back there. It
Yeah.
took me about probably about 2.5 months to do it, and it was first. Well, it
Yeah,
wasn't my
I
first.
remember you showing us the work in
That was
progress
cool.
and how long it took you. It was so freaking cool.
And yeah, it's like I did a portrait, an oil painting portrait of my dogs. Pretty much the first one. I was like, I don't know if I like oil paints or not. Then I like the other two back there. They're acrylic, and acrylic dries really fast, but
Yeah, it does.
I didn't really know how to like blend acrylic, so it was all like figuring out how to get the shades and stuff like that. And I figured, I can just add water to it and blend it. So I really like the way oils blend. And I do like I don't like the fact that that thing had to sit. There's one up there at the top. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's still wet. It's like 3 or 4 weeks old. So
Oh my god, it's ridiculous. Because I just pulled these off my notice board. They're like, I love these that I've got off you, all these little sketches you gave me. They're so freaking cool. They're
yeah,
just
I just like doing like quick sketches, and like a lot of those, some of them are Posca markers. The Viking scrolling across the screen right now is the one that you got.
hang on, can I tip my screen? There it is. He's on my wall behind me there. He's waiting for the other wall to be painted so he can be hung up.
Yeah, I did years and years, and I have a whole book full of like, if you see some of my black and white ink, and it's all just ink pen, and I never really go into a piece with any kind of idea what's going to happen. I just start making lines and see how it ends up. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's kind of weird because I'm like, where's this stuff coming from? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really, really strange. And then sometimes whenever I try to make something that I have an idea for, I can't do it. And I don't understand what it is. Like the one skull painting over here on that one there, that started off as a turtle painting for my mother-in-law. And I didn't like it. I couldn't, I'm like, I can't do this. And I just slide covered it up and was like, fuck it. And just took a whole bunch of paint and slapped it all over it and made that out of it, and eventually I'll sit down and do it. I wanted to do it in my own style, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I know.
I think you're really good at that though. So I think like you inspire me so much because I think there's a freedom to your art that I perhaps don't have with mine. And And I am almost have this, I think, from working in studios that are really like, that's not right, move that, that's too big, that's too small, like that, where there shouldn't be a right or wrong design, but they make it so because they have a style that they want you to conform to. So I think even in my art, I still have this like slight fear of doing it wrong. And I feel like you don't have that. And I just am always so envious when I watch you create, because it's just so freeing and you inspire me massively on that front. Like it's, you're awesome at doing that.
Yeah, and like some of the stuff is dog shit. I ain't gonna lie, but I create it and I own it. Like I do it. Sometimes I'll just sit down and I'll do a sketch and it takes me like 30 seconds, and I'm like, okay, whatever, and I'll sign the back of it and throw it in the thing or whatever. Or I like doing these. I call them my mad paintings sometimes, and I think it's like an exercise. You know what I mean? It just kind of keeps you fluent. Keeps you creative. And I don't care. I made this. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, and like I said, with the big oil painting there, I was a little nervous because it's a print ad of a Red Fox from like the 70s. And whenever I built my little man cave, I printed out a poster of it and I hung it up. And it was the very first one. I always loved that picture of him. He just looks like he's totally blasted. He's doing a Colt 45 print ad. And I just always loved that picture. And I was like, one day I'm going to do a painting of it. And I just sat down, like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. And then like, I just started, and then it was like once, because I think I was so, I don't really want to say focused, but all of a sudden I just kind of lost myself in it. And then it was just, it's so weird. And it's like almost it just started doing itself. And then now sometimes I look at it, I'm like, how in the hell did I do that? Can I ever do that again? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, but I'm sure I can. It's just, I'm planning to do a series of these. I want to do another one the next size, and it's going to be comedians holding beer or liquor. And there's the Dan Aykroyd, he owns Crystal Skull Vodka. It's the Crystal Skull Vodka. That's his vodka company, and he has an ad where he's holding one of the crystal skulls, and I think that might be my next painting. So
that would be awesome. I can see that already. But yeah, that's an absolute masterpiece, that one bit behind you. It's incredible. I remember when you shared it with everyone, we were just blown away. I think you've got a superb talent for painting, dude. It's like, and your little dog, they're flashing across the screen. The dog ones, I just love. They're just amazing. They've got such personality. You're so diverse. Your style is so diverse.
Yeah, it's all over the place, and I think that I can obtain that too. Like just some of my mad paintings. Some of them come out really great. Like I said, some of them are just horrible. But I like whatever. I did it. Whatever. I created this. It didn't exist before, and now it's here, and it's here. So
you must have like a ton of sketchbooks.
What's that?
You must have like a ton of sketchbooks all over the place.
Yeah, I got some in the house beside the thing. I got small ones. I got big ones. Some of them are like they're a little crazy. But the dog paintings, I did those last year. I did like 4 of them. I was like, I'll do commissions, and then the only commissions I got were dog paintings. So it was like, and I was like, shit. So, and the one in the tie, that was for one of our friends. His wife said, hey, their dog has just passed away, and he was a pointer, and he would take him to work with him all day, and I'm like, oh shit, So I was like, well, I'll do this one in oil. And it took me probably about 2 months to do it, and then we ended up taking it out there. I think it was right after Christmas or something, and he broke down in tears. You know what I mean? And the dog right there going across with the bow tie. He's a photographer, so he had a really good photography photo of the dog was actually wearing the bow tie, and it was almost a black and white photograph that he sent me, but it was really, really good. Well, his wife is one of my wife's really good friends. Sent it to her and was like, can you do this? And then I was like, okay, whenever it's done. I'm like, well, it's got to dry for like another 2 months. So we'll take it over there whenever it's done. And then she's like, all right, he has no idea. And then he's like, he's a construction guy, and he's all like, and then he had to walk out of the room because he was tearing up. So that kind of made me feel kind of good. So I'm like, it's all worth it. So.
Oh, it's got a proper pointer face. I grew up with German pointers. They're just so distinct. Oh, they're gorgeous dogs. It's a really cool painting. And what a special thing to do for someone. I just think that's like better than anything to be able to gift someone a memory like that. It's really cool. I'll have to commission you to do guinea pig. It's like break the dog cycle.
It's kind of funny because I actually started one, and I was gonna try to bring it to New York for you, but I didn't get it done because it was one of them things that I was kind of rushing it, and I was like, yeah, it's I got to put it aside, and I'll get back. It was just gonna be a little tiny acrylic painting or something.
Amazing.
I was actually gonna bring. I got a picture off your Instagram of one of your guinea pigs, and I was gonna do that.
One of my many. My army of guinea pigs. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about mead, because like one of your other passions is home brewing, and then you've got this NFT collection mead, so I'm assuming it was inspired by your love for beer.
Yeah, that's part of it. The mead actually comes from and it's supposed to stand for molecular enhancer for advanced DNAs. It's come up with some goofy ass like lore behind it, but the mead cups actually my Scald collection. Whenever I was on Polygon, when people were minting it for free, I was making I drew the cup and I put the skull on it, and I do like a little GM cup with their skull on it. You know what I mean? So I would like GM, Scald NFTs or whatever, and I would put their little skull on it. And then I was just like, you know what? I think I could turn this into a collection. So I just kept drawing and doing traits and stuff like that. So it was fun. You know what I mean?
They look good. I like them.
And then I did if you can mint, I think you can mint like 5 or 4 free ones or whatever. And then I did a thing. You had to own 5 of them to get a free mead cup, and to onboard people with mead. And then I listed them. They're like on there for like, well, that was another problem too. I started off on Polygon with mead, and then I was using Third Web, and then they had a security issue, so they canceled the whole entire, the contract. And then, so then I airdropped everybody because they put me on a new contract, and so I'm like, okay, cool. And then I paid the gas fees. It was like $30 or whatever to airdrop everybody their mead cups that were minted already, and so once I got there, and then I was like, okay, cool, everything was good. I put the mint site back up, and then IPFS lost all my images. They were recorded, and I'm like, I thought these things were supposed to be there forever. You know what I mean? Like, and then they went back in and they fixed it, and then I was like, okay, I reminted. I got the mint site back up and got it going again, and then it happened again, and then like people would DM me, it's like, hey, I just minted mead cup and the image isn't showing up, and then it happened like 5 times. I'm like, oh crap. So I put it on pause, and like I didn't know what to do. I've been trying to mint this thing out for like 3 years now. It's been 3 years, I think. Well, I think it's been 2 because I think it's been 3 since Scald. And so, and talking with people in the FCW, and then Chaos was just like, hey, he's like, I can, we can move you to base, throw it on base. He's like, you have all the original images, and they're all on my computer. Because NF Creeps did one. He did a 101, and it was actually minted during the free stage. Yeah, there's Creeps, because we actually talked about this collection in a hotel room, the first NFT NYC. So
oh wow,
I'm gonna make a collection. He's like, I'll do a 101 for you. I'm like, all right, I'll send you the stuff.
You can sell Creeps.
I made a couple NF 101s too, and that's the one Vicky has. That's
I love that one. That's one of the 101s. I love it. I was so when I got that.
A lot of the 101s were, they were like ode to people that are, some of them ain't even around anymore, or don't really, jive with us anymore. But it's kind of a,
mead.
Some of them have my hand drawn artwork in the background.
Yeah, I've got a bag with these faces on. I love it.
And some of the 101s, I think if you go up to the that one with the alien on the background, the 101 there, that should be a flippable NFT. You should be able to click on it, and then it gives you there's only a few of those in the collection. So.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's only like 3 of those in the collection that flip, and that was another problem I had whenever I mitigated the base. And then if you see that other one, I actually now I am in total control of my artwork. I'm hosting all the images on my own site. So it was kind of nice because now I can go in and change the artwork if I want to. Like
Yeah.
if you see the other one with the blue hat, that's Ethor Authorial or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real. Yeah.
He's always been around since like the Scald days, and he actually commissioned me to do. He owns an MFer, and he commissioned me to do one. It's in my gallery.
I've seen
And
that.
I
Yeah.
was like, hey, I was like, show me one of your meat cups that you don't like or a low ranked one, and I'll go in and edit the thing, and I'll make you your own personal 1-on-1. And so he told me the token idea, the one that he didn't really jive with, because quite a few of them. So and I want to do more things like that in the future. And I've been giving away, and it kind of sucks because the only time people mint is whenever I give away stuff. So, and I'll give away, I haven't ran just a meat giveaway for a while, but I just did one not too long ago. And I know the Guapes, and it was one that I gave away. And actually, and then I'll buy one, and then I'll figure it out. Like, okay, it cost me $30, or at the time, whatever I buy it, and okay, so if I mint 6, I'll give it away within that 6, just to break even or whatever and give away. And I'll give away NFTs. And then Chum Wizard actually got the Guapes, and he actually got the mead cup for free just for tagging and reposting, because when I do a giveaway, it's this token ID to that token ID. So, and then I've given away like so many NFTs, it's just insane. Like. But then I'm at the point now. I'm like, that's the only time people want to mint. So I'm trying to figure out how to move forward. I don't know. It's just hard when you're, it's just me. You know what I mean? And I got you guys, FCW. I got friends, for support. You know what I mean? But it's not like, I don't know. And
it is tough. It's really hard on your own.
Don't you worry, we'll push it.
Yeah, and I'm like halfway minted out, and they're like $7, and I'm giving away a fee friend and like whatever. So, I mean, but and then I was at a conference, and somebody was like, "You should never do a giveaway on your NFT project." I'm like, well, okay, yeah, if you got a huge community or whatever, and you got all kinds of money to have people like pumping your shit all day long in spaces, because you're paying them or whatever they're doing. I have no idea, but like I said, and I don't care. And it's like, I could have rugged this project. I had so many problems like from day one, pretty much on this, and I just kept plugging away. Okay, I got this problem. I got to figure it out. However long it takes, because like that's just how I am. Like if I don't know how to do it, I'll figure out how to do it. So.
I think it's been difficult though, isn't it? Because I think there's like we were saying earlier about getting in more spaces. I think a lot of the spaces that we used to be able to share our art in have kind of disappeared, or the voice has changed, that you don't necessarily want to hang out there. And it's finding those spaces that you have to like go into a lot of spaces you don't vibe with, and then suddenly you'll land in one that you think, oh, actually I really feel comfortable hanging out here. But it takes a while to find that, and I feel like you don't feel comfortable sharing your art until you find that as well. So and it is an easier platform to do it on than just the timeline. So it's it is tricky, especially with, like you say, when it's just you on your own, and you are artist.
That is hard.
Yeah. I'm
everything.
You're everything. So
I'm my artist. I'm the dev. I'm the web host. Well, I was going to say Discord manager, but the only Discord we got is the FCW Discord, and all we use it for is our things. That was actually the Discord I set up for Mead, and I was like, I'm not using it for Mead. I'll just switch it over to FCW, and that's where we can hang out on Tuesday nights. So.
Are you? I think you're in our Discord, right?
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's like I have so many NFTs in my wallet. I am missing out because I got my own shit going on. With RL work, and I'm trying to paint, and I'm trying to. Then I brew beer, and I do some other like crazy stuff that I just figured out recently, and I do so much, and I'm missing out on probably 90% of all the utilities that I should be getting for owning all these NFTs, because I just don't have the time to hang on Discord. So, and then what I do is if I see it on my timeline and I own it, I always try to at least repost or something, or I'll do like a little fan art, because I think recently I was just gifted a tweak And then I actually went and bought one, and then I did a sketch card of that, and then I'm in all these group chats. I don't know if there needs to be like 72 hours in a day or something, because I just
challenge. You basically need a clone, is what you need.
yeah.
It is. It's insane. And people keep adding me to chat groups. I'm like, how have I ended up in this chat group? And then I'm like, and then I feel like I don't want to leave because then it looks like I've had a strop. And like,
I'm in so many of them. I think I only communicate in like 3 or 4, and I think yours is the one, and I'll say GM in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Of course, I'm always in that one just because
Yeah, it's really hard to manage that. I think it's the biggest challenge for like most artists in Web3 is how to manage the time.
Yeah. I was actually gonna ask like ChatGPT or Grok or something, like, you need to set me a schedule. Like, okay, like set me some hours to work on art here. Set me hours to paint, and set me hours to look into all my. I'm about to design a bot to go through all my NFTs and like just scour all the discords and find out what I'm missing out on utilities or something like that.
I asked ChatGPT everything. I got to be honest.
So here's an issue. Like, I'm on your website now trying to connect my wallet, but it won't connect.
Yeah, see, I did all that. It works. I think if you connect the wallet on I know it doesn't. I know it works with the MetaMask browser, and I probably got to go in and update the code or something. And I'm not much of a coder, so I always had to test. And then I noticed a problem. It won't like open up. It works on mobile if you're in like your MetaMask or your wallet's browser.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I know it works with the MetaMask browser from the MetaMask. But for some reason, the extension, I have to go in and, like I said, whenever I redid the website, that was before I got super busy in IRL work, and I was like, okay, it's working through MetaMask, and it works on mobile if you're in your MetaMask browser. But for some reason, it doesn't do a pop-up, I guess, for like to switch back to Chrome and then switch back to whatever. But I just gotta I gotta actually have AI look at the code and say, hey, it's not doing this. And
so I think on ours, when you're on mobile, you have to go in via the MetaMask app, the browser in the actual app, rather than from the browser on your phone. I've got a feeling. I think that's quite standard, but I don't know. I can ask Fraser if you want me to ask.
Yeah. Give me some tips, because I know it does work through MetaMask. Obviously you got to be on the base network and whatever.
Yeah.
And then I know it works through there, and then I did get it to work one time on, because whenever I was testing, I minted like 7 or 8 of them just testing after I went live. I was doing it on the test net and they were all working. Then when I went live, they weren't working on certain ways, but then they were always working through MetaMask. So I was like, just if you use your MetaMask wallet. So that might be deterring people, if they're opening it up in a Chrome browser or whatever browser, and then it won't let them connect. I definitely got to look at that, and hopefully I can get that fixed soon. And
let's see if we can help you with that.
Yeah, if anybody has some suggestions, just DM me, what you think maybe, because like I said, I'm not much of a coder. I'm just enough to keep myself dangerous, and then once I'll code a little bit, and then I'll actually have Grok or whatever look at it, and then they help me out like 95%. My whole entire website
is really good now.
Yeah, and I got the 4 now, so I was going to run it through 4 and ask you some more questions. But like my whole mint site was all done through AI, because I was like, okay, I need a mint page, and then people were like, hey, I got this rainbow wallet. I'm like, and it's not working on the rainbow wallet. I'm like,
I've never even heard of
who the hell is a rainbow wallet or whatever, like, okay, so okay, it says it's fixed, but I don't know because I don't have a rainbow wallet, so I don't have any way to test it. So yeah, and then
somebody.
I like running them through AI too, and then animating paintings is kind of fun to do.
Awesome.
But these are really cool, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for all the little whip videos. Oh, damn. NFT NYC. There we are.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah, it's right there.
I don't know what Mark was showing me there.
There's Mikey.
Yeah, these are super cool. Yeah, it was so much fun meeting you.
Yeah, and like I said, I love going up there. And like I said, the first, me and Steve hit it off pretty early in the space, a couple years ago. And first NFT NYC, we were just like, oh shit, he was like, I gotta take you to the McSorleys, and then I went back for my birthday in August that year, and then I went back for NFT NYC the second year, and then I actually went back and stayed in Astoria, and I went to hang out with Steve and Mikey, and then I took my two oldest boys with me because they'd never been in New York, and we went to a haunted house and stuff like that. So Steve's like my brother, you know what I mean? Like, and then a good thing about it is like, I got a couple IRL friends, but they're so busy with their kids, and they had kids later in life than me, and some of them quit drinking and shit, and they don't. I moved from Akron to Masson like 14 years ago, and they're like, oh, I don't want to, they don't want to drive like 10 minutes to come and see me. So, and they don't get me anyways, because I am a little odd, you know what I mean? Because I'm like brewing beer, I'm doing paintings, and it's like when I go to NFT NYC and hang out with artists, I can be more of myself.
Yeah,
than I can be, you know what I mean, like at my job or
Yeah.
like even hanging out with people I've known from high school. They're just like, this dude's
Yeah.
fucking weird. You know what I mean? So that's my brew room right there. That's okay. I started painting the walls.
So that's another
That's
big
cool.
part of yours, isn't it? How did you get into brewing beer? Is it IPA?
My dad used to do it whenever I was in high school, and he would always just buy little kits and stuff, and then he also made moonshine. My dad would make moonshine and stuff like that. So I kind of always knew the process, So, and then I've been brewing beer for 12, 13 years now.
Oh, wow.
And I started off just, buying the syrup and mixing the water and throwing the yeast, throwing a fermenter, and then bottling it. And then I evolved to, now I'm kegging it, and I'm messing around with a whole bunch of different ingredients. And I have a shed out back of my house that was my brew shed. But then in the wintertime, it was get so cold out there, and I have to run a water line out there and then run through a filter before it gets the water in there. So I was like, all right. So I think it was February, because I'm in my garage right now. I framed off half my garage, and then I was like, okay, and I was using propane to do the burners on brewing the beer, and I was like, every time it seemed like I would want to go brew, I'd be out of propane. I had to go run and get more propane or whatever, and it was always just a hassle. So I was like, screw it, I'm going to build me an addition, and it's right there's I'll bring the camera around. Right there's the door, and then I actually cut in and then framed a wall in there, and then there's my brew room right there. Yeah, I can flip the light on. It's just right around the corner here. But there's the brew room. So you got the so I had the big kegs back there. Those are the brew, the brew kettles. And so what I did is one of my friends is an electrician, so I had to redo the service inside my house. So because the panel was old and stuff like that, and I wanted to put some air conditioning in here and stuff like that. So he ran me more power, so I could handle 240 volt, whatever. So I decided I built me a electric brew room. So I got heating elements, and I drilled holes into my brew kettles, and I built a little controller that'll handle the power and stuff like that. And it's got temperature sensors. So I built everything. And then once I got it all done, I don't know if you've seen that table. I was like cleaning and running hoses and stuff into my room, and I'm like, screw that. So I decided to hook up, so I can just tap it on the outside. And then I needed way for water to get in and come out. So I got on an auction site and got out like a big shower basin and built a big table that drains back outside, whenever I'm cleaning stuff out. And then I was looking at the walls, and I was like, I'm going to start painting on them. So I just started. I did the big the V front in the back there, the skilled skeleton first, and then I did my wick right there, and then I think I did Vicky's sugar skull on the one wall, and I did Steve's they're all NFTs that I own. I did the Space Rider on the wall, and I did a couple other ones, but I'm eventually going to have that whole entire room painted. So.
Oh,
Have you ever thought about selling the beer, like making beer to sell?
Yeah, a lot. But you start getting into like a lot of a lot of gray areas whenever you do that. I have shipped out beers to people before for holders.
Mhm.
I've shipped Steve beer in New York, and there is a legality. You can say you're shipping yeast samples because you're
Mm.
not technically allowed to sell, or you know what I mean. Because I obviously I don't have enough. Someday I would love to open up my own brewery and then,
That would be cool, yeah.
and then I shipped out. I think I shipped out another 6-pack to JDS in the FCW a couple years ago, around November, like for Thanksgiving. So I
Mm.
shipped out some beer out there, and then I think it was like 2 weeks ago. The place I I would order all my grain and stuff from a place called Grape and Granary, and they're a homebrew shop up in Akron. Well, they went out of business because they wanted to retire, and they were in business for like 40 years, and they were retiring. They auctioned off all their stuff,
Oh,
so I ended up getting 6 storage bins full of grain, and they're back there too. So now I got place where now whenever I want to brew, I don't have to. Yeah, that's the old setup at the brewer on that video there, and then that's the old setup, and then now I just flip on a switch and brew, which is kind of
that's some cool stuff.
It's so cool.
I love that, yeah.
I love your paintings. I love the texture.
so there. Yeah, and I like slapping on the paint super thick, and
Yeah, it's so expressive. Like it's so passionate. It's
like I said, that's one of my mad paintings. I think I probably did that in like an hour or something, just slapping paint on canvas, and I love doing that, and then I love taking my time too. It just depends on what kind of mood I am in. So.
Have you got a favorite blend that you've come up with for your beers, or like a favorite flavor that you like to use?
I do. I mean, I really like the coffee stout that I do. I do that one over and over and over again, and I'm always playing around with IPAs because I really like IPAs, and then I always do like light beers are obviously cheaper to make because it's just grain and slightly a little bit of hops and stuff like that. But you get into IPAs and some complex beers. But now I got all kinds of different ingredients and stuff like that. So. And it took me probably about 2 or 3 years when I first started brewing beer. And I made some awful, awful stuff, but it had alcohol in it. You know what I mean? So, and it was safe to drink. So I choked down a lot of shitty beer for a long time until I started getting it like, hey, this is getting better. So then I would play around with the recipe a little bit. Pretty much it's all temperature and time. So, the process is pretty simple. You just take grain and it's whole grain, and which is nice about the whole grain, it can go in a storage bin and you can save it for years as long as it's in a dry area. But then what you do is you mill it, and then it crushes the husk on the grain, and that releases the insides, which has got all your sugar and your starches in it.
Okay.
And then what you do is, depending on the recipe, you heat your water up. So usually they call it mashing. So you heat water up to about 170 degrees, and then you put it in a mash tun, and then you put the ground up grain in a mash tun, and then usually you want to mash about 150 degrees. So once you take the 170 degree water and put it in the cold grain, usually drops temperature down to about 150, 152, and then you let that water sit in there for an hour. And what's that's doing is taking the hot water is actually taking all the sugar and all the flavoring and all the coloring out of the grain. And the mash tun has a false bottom, so you don't want none of the grain to get in the boil kettle. You just want the liquid. Okay. So then you let it sit, and then you kind of recirculate it until you get your volume that you're going to brew. So I typically brew 5 gallons at a time. So it takes about
like
12.
A mad scientist.
Yeah,
like 12 to 13 pounds of grain to make 5 gallons. So I see these breweries doing 30 barrels. So one barrel is 30 gallons. So that's a lot of grain. You know what I mean? A lot of hops and a lot of stuff and a lot of water. But yeah, then you wash the grain, take that out, and then you boil it. Usually boil it for an hour, and then depending on the recipe, there's a million different hops depending on what style you want to brew. Like if you're doing a light ale, you're just throwing in maybe 5 ounce or a half ounce of hops for 60 minutes, and that's it. You get in IPAs, you're throwing different times you want to throw the hops in, because the longer you boil, the more hops. The longer they boil, the more acidic it's going to get. So, and then the less time you
Interesting.
boil it. So, like in the last 5 minutes, you're going to get more of the floral flavoring or the smell from the hops instead of the bitterness. So, it's all pretty much temperature and timing. And then the biggest thing about it is fermentation. I finally built a fermentation chamber about 3 years ago, and that was a game changer, because I would just get in there, dump the yeast on top, and let it sit in the room. The problem with that is the swings in the temperature in a room would stress the yeast out. Sometimes it would come out really good, and sometimes it would the yeast would get stressed and it would cause off flavors, and But once I started controlling the temperature of my fermentation, it just took the beer to the next level. Like, it went from decent to, hey, this is pretty damn good. I could talk about beer all night. I'm so passionate about it.
It's so interesting.
Beer, and like I could just go on and on and on and on.
Oh, it's good. This should be your logo right here. This painting right here. That should be your logo.
I remember that's AI. That's not one of mine. That's just an AI piece that I did. I was actually gonna try to paint it. Sometimes I'll use AI for ideas. You know what I mean? But that's actually an AI painting. That's not actually one of
mine. That looks really good, though.
That's really good, though.
I think I took one of my paintings and used it as like a style, and then I had it make whatever, like a Viking. Like the mead and the Viking and all that. It's all, like, that's my original collection skull. That was the one that was on Polygon. So
yeah, that's
This was on Poly?
Yeah, and that's the one that got locked up through Third Web. So they're all out there. It was a free mint. So maybe someday I'll just airdrop everybody their ones. They're not tradable right now because the contract's locked up through Third Web. You can still see it and all that. And I was like, you know what? That got people into mead. So
yeah, this is like. Yeah, I just think of you when I see these. I just love them. They're so cool. Also, this is one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was a Posca marker painting I did, and I did that on Tezos, and I did it. I think I can't even remember how many editions I did. I think I did 20 some editions for on the cheap, and then I raffled off everybody's name. And Frisky Foxtrot actually won that, and I shipped out the actual painting to him. So, and I do that all the time too. I'll ship out. I'll just tag somebody that's messes with, will message me or something, or hangs out every once in a while, and will DM me and like, hey man, I really like your stuff, and if they hang out, and I jive with them or jive some of their artwork, I'm like, hey, send me your address. I got so much artwork, I'm just going to send you a piece. I think I sent Chum Wizard. I think I just sent him some of my old school drawings and a couple stickers and stuff just for hanging out. You know what I'm saying? He ended up sending me some NFTs. So I do art trades all the time. So
yeah, it's cool. I love the idea of trading art with fellow artists. It's like kind of wonderful. Isn't it? I feel like it's really unique, something that we can do that no one else can.
Yeah, I think we brought that up in one of the FCW spaces. We were talking about doing an art share, and
I think it'd be awesome to do like literally trade NFTs, pieces of art, kind of just have like almost like a share shop kind of thing,
Yeah, like, hey, drop it here or whatever, and then I think who was it? Acid. I think he sent me. I think I minted, and he like had a raffle or something. He sent me these little woodcut paintings or whatever, And you probably got some too. I got some hanging back there. And then I was like, these are so freaking cool. He sent me a whole bunch of, I got like 2 of those. They're in the brew room hanging up. And I was like, this is really freaking cool, man. So I was like, I'm going to send you a painting. And he's like, well, you don't have to do that. And I'm like, yeah, I'll say I got. So the one alien that I sent him was one of I think it was my second oil painting I ever did of, an actual oil painting. Mm-hmm. I sent him and he actually hung it up in his dining room. He's like, I love this thing so much.
That's so cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
Actually, the very first like airdrop or art that I got in the mail was from Captain Futon. He because I asked him to do a one-on-one of the mead cup, so he actually did a painting, like a physical painting of one of the mead cups, and it hasn't been minted yet. And I was like, hey man, I was like, I want this, I want to give it away to whoever mints that NFT. You know what I mean? If they mint your one-on-one NFT, I'll send him the painting. So he just shipped it to me, like didn't even ask for any money or anything. And he sent me like some candles and some stickers. He sent me all kinds of shit. And I was like, holy shit, this is the coolest fucking thing. And that was probably like 2.5 years ago. And I keep it right here. Here it is, right here. There's the actual painting he did of the mead cup. You know what I mean? Like, he's got this really, really unique style. And
I love Danny's
keep it up there. It was rolled up in canvas, and I screwed it down to a frame. And if somebody mints, it's one of the one-on-one in the collection. If anybody does mint it, they're going to get this actual physical painting. I think there's some of my drawings. The one-on-one, the flippable ones. If you got a flippable one, I would send you that drawing.
Oh, wow.
And I think it was Max Maya. He's been in the space around. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's been around forever. He actually minted it, and he lives in Germany. I'm like, hey man, I'll send it to you. He's like, nah, I don't want it. I'm like, okay. I'll send it to you. I don't know. I guess some people don't want to give you your address or whatever.
I know. Yeah. I've had a few of those. I'm like,
Yeah,
when I've done a couple of like Holder of the Months, they've gone, oh yeah, don't worry about it. And it's like, oh, that's such a shame. Because I really wanted to like reward them for being part of the community, but hey, I love your pencils. I've never seen this collection.
Oh, that's an old collection I did on Object whenever. And, I did them. I think I sold them for like 70 cents or something like that. Those are all my old. Some of them are really old,
like just
really old drawings. They're all just ink pen drawings.
They're wicked. I've never
seen a lot of different collections.
Yeah, you have. Like I say, your styles are so diverse, but
yeah.
At the same time, I always know it's you. Even though
that one there, the Mind Bubbles, I think is another one of the. It's a one-on-one in the collection. It's a flippable, and if somebody mints that one, they'll get that Mind Bubbles. I think that's one of them. I think I got like 3. And the Aliens, the one Alien one is another one-on-one that's flippable too that nobody's minted yet. Yeah, the one that's like the one I use on my coffee, the coffee mugs that I made.
Yeah, and the bag. I've got.
That's another one. The grays. If somebody would get that actual physical painting, I actually made a. I don't know if I got. No, I don't have it out here. But I actually made a coffee mug of that, and it looks pretty cool. And I think I used it as a giveaway. And I think BB got one.
Yeah, the shopping bag with it on.
Yeah. I sent you the shopping bag for Christmas or something with the alien drawing on it. That's right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, like I said, I send stuff out all the time. I got so much artwork. I'm just like, what am I going to do with this? Like, my kids ain't going to fucking do anything with it. You know what I mean? So they'll throw it in a storage bin somewhere after I'm dead and gone. I'd rather it just be out there. I like calling it like I want to infect the world with my art.
Take over. No, honestly, your stuff's so. I mean, I think this is probably my favorite.
That's how it started off right there. It was like I started off as a mad painting, and then I was like, nope, I'm gonna redefine it, and then I just kind of went back in and turned it into that one. So
I absolutely love it.
I see.
It's sitting back there behind me right there.
Yeah, he's right behind you there. Do you like working big? Or do you
I really, really do. And that one there, the mushroom painting was the first large. I was like, you know what? I'm doing these little 8x10s or whatever. I was like, I want to do big. So I went and bought a roll of canvas, and I went and bought. Well, I actually built the frame for that one because I had a whole bunch of scrap wood from construction projects around the house that I just built the frame out of. And then I stretched the canvas, coated it with gesso, let it dry, and then just went ham on it. So. All these are the large format ones are all, I'll hand stretch the canvas and coat it with gesso. And then, but I really do like doing big because you don't have to, you don't have to be super detailed larger you go, you know what I mean? You can kind of, because and then it's kind of cool because, if it's not super detailed and somebody goes up and looks at it, they're like, oh, wow, that's just like a blob of paint right there. But then when you step back, it brings the whole thing together.
Yeah, it's very dope. Very dope. I've never painted on a wall or anything. I'm always like, I wouldn't even know where to start.
On what?
Painting on a big wall like you've done in your brew room.
I just use paint. I just use acrylic paint. Like I take it and I'll water it down a little bit. You know what I mean? And make it really super runny. So if you look, a lot of it's just like dripping down the wall or something like that. So,
it's amazing. Your stuff's incredible. You're so talented.
Yeah, that's a Posca drawing. Cool. I think Captain Futon's got that one. I think I
think I've seen that.
Yeah, he's got it hanging up in his house. I think I want to say he won one of my giveaways or something. I was giving away some artwork or something. He won it. So. BB's got that one. I gifted that to her and NFT NYC. That one, somebody has that one that I last year. Not NFT's got that one there too. So
Yeah, wicked. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, you've got, so I like literally could just, it's like a treasure trove.
yeah, this little triglyph I did, acrylic painting. Little that's actually hanging right above my monitor here. I got shit all over the place. I got sketchbooks all over the place. I'm like, I gotta figure out something. Start getting rid of these things. Gotta find somebody that's like, oh, I want all your shit. And it was kind of neat because I did and I don't know. I don't think I posted a picture of it because I was waiting for him to get it. I did Josh commissioned me to do a landscape, and I'm not a landscape guy, and I kind of almost lost interest in it. And I know I was bouncing off ideas in FCW like this something ain't right, and you guys are like, yeah, it's a little dark, something ain't right, And I ended up coming. I had my wife come out. She's like, yeah, it's a sunny day. Why is it so dark? I'm like, I don't know. So once I lightened it up, it just came to life. So it's just awesome to have artists to bounce ideas off of and stuff like that. And we kind of always keep each other inspired all the time. And I'm having the greatest time doing this. You know what I mean?
Doing something new in that FCW chat and sharing some new art, and it's like so inspiring. I don't think I've ever been so constantly creative as I have since I became friends with you guys. It feels like we fuel each other's like passion and like creativity constantly. Retro's got a question. He says, I saw you have all these techniques going. Is this something that literally is you and something that you go back to and keep repeating in terms of style?
I guess I do have some kind of style, I guess, but I mean, it's just a mad style. It's just whatever frame of mind I'm in. I guess you could go back and look at all my stuff and compile it into a style, I guess. I don't know. So it just depends. Like that one there, I just watered down a whole bunch of acrylic and, let it run and just see how it came out. And then I did all the black first and I put some white over top of it and I just let it run. I was using a spray bottle and letting it drip. And then I came back with white and kind of highlighted some spots. And that's another large one. My buddy wants that one so bad. He's like, I want that one. He owns a nail salon. His wife does nails. He owns a nail salon. He wants to hang it up in his nail salon, but his wife's like, no, I'm not going to let you do that. So he's like, I want to find a place for this. He's like, he said I could just have it. So, he's just on my wall. If you want it, it's actually right on the other side of that wall in there. So
I could just see some ladies lunch having a massive thing. I feel like maybe it would have to be a goth studio. That's brilliant. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's been so amazing chatting to you and going through your artwork.
Yeah, that one there that was a ghost painting I did for my wife. She wanted that one. Yeah, that one there was one of my friends. That one, yeah, that ghost painting. My wife's like, can you do a little cute ghost that I can put up for Halloween? I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, they're so cool.
Oh, there's me going wild, showing off, trying to get some exposure. I made that stupid video like in last year and whatever. I think that is my most viewed thing I have on Instagram. Maybe I should do more of those stupid things.
I think you should. People love that shit. It's brilliant. BB's like, oh my god, I love this video.
Oh, that one there hits the camera. It's so funny whenever I flipped it around. Then I went and edited and like slowed down parts of the video and sped up parts of the video. And you can see it like I hit the camera and I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. But I just wanted to kind of show the size. They're 4 foot by 4 foot paintings and shit like that.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Yeah, amazing. Oh, thank you so much for coming on, Dave. It's been a real pleasure.
Oh yeah, thanks, Vic. I've been wanting to do this as like time and stuff like that, and I know you always have. There's me pouring some beer. I do that all the time too.
Yeah, I know you've been so busy. It's like it's hard, isn't it, to kind of balance it all. I really want to do one, but Wick can't do a Wednesday, so yeah, like I think we might have to switch for a Thursday when we want to get Wick on.
No, I always try to tap in every time you guys have one of these, and I got nothing to do or something. I'm always watching. You always got interesting people, and you and Miguel are killing it. I mean, that's one of Steve's sketch cards he gave me.
I just saw one of my pins. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Those my I don't know if that was before I put the acrylic down on the bar. I put a whole bunch of NFTs stuff down on the bar, but then it kind of screwed it up because the last coat of the acrylic clouded up and it covered everything up.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Very cool stuff, man.
It is really cool. So if people want to commission you to do a piece or get in touch with you somehow, what's the best place to find you? Is it Twitter?
DM me on Instagram. It's ukaswaka.art or X mostly. DM me on X, for now. I mean, you can check out my gallery, my website. My email is ukaswaka@gmail. Like I said, come up with an easy, made up word. It kind of made it really easy to have a simple email. But
yeah.
It was kind of funny because whenever I first started going, I would just hang out in spaces before I actually got the nerve to come up and talk. And I'm not a shy guy.
I know.
It's just whenever I start talking about myself, you know what I mean? I start it's kind of weird. It's just, I don't know.
It is.
This is my shit. Check it out. If you like it or not, I don't care. I really, really don't care. I'm just going to keep doing what I do. And
yeah.
It was funny when they were trying to get you to share in the GU space, and you're like, no. And you're like,
I gotta get the mindset to chill. You know what I mean? I used to have it down. I used to do it all the time. I was getting tired of just repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again.
I get that. I do get that. It's I've sort of, because I'm not going in spaces so much, I've kind of lost my nerve a little bit. If there's a big space, I'm like, oh, I don't know where I want to go up. I think you get out of the habit of just, like you say, talking about your project or your collection that you've got going, because you're used to hanging out in the spaces you're comfortable where you just chat and hang, So yeah, I do appreciate that. It's quite difficult sometimes. But yeah, it's been amazing sharing. So everyone needs to give Dave a follow, Ukaswaka, on Instagram and Twitter, and go check out his website. And if you want to mint a mead cuppets, you can go get to that straight from his website.
Yeah, use a MetaMask wallet until I figure out how to get the pop up on whatever.
Use a Rainbow wallet. But yeah, thank you so much, Dave.
I appreciate everybody for checking it out. Like I said, I'm so grateful you guys do these spaces.
We'll get everyone on.
Yeah, we should do like a mass FCW space one time with all of us. I'll get shit faced drunk and maybe eat some mushrooms or something. We'll have a good time.
That would be funny.
Yeah, we did say we do perhaps a bigger space in Weavergal where we perhaps have quite a few people on. It'd be really fun, I think. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, well, we're going to wrap things up, I think, guys. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, Dave.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna finish. Is there anything you want to say, Miguel, before we go?
No, thank you, Dave, for coming on the show and sharing his work with us. It was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it was really good. Well, I'm just going to say, I think next week we've got Hangry Animals on. I don't know whether you guys know him. He's from Cardiff, so he's a fellow Welsh person. So that would be interesting. He's got a really cool project, really cool NFTs, lots of game stuff going on, loads of stuff in development. So I think that'll be really, really good. So I'm going to finish with my latest little bedtime story. So thanks everyone for joining, and we shall catch you next week.
All right. Thanks a lot. Guys, have a great one.
The Tale of Reka Ghost Moon. On the night of the August full moon, the veil between worlds grows gossamer thin. It is then that the moon calls to Reka, keeper of the ghost moon, to walk the ancient path of her foremothers, to seek the truths whispered through centuries of shadow and starlight. On this night a great festival of ghosts is held, when the living and the dead may meet once more. With careful hands, Rika lights a string of colored lanterns, each one glowing like a captured piece of dawn. They sway in the summer breeze, casting their soft light to guide the wandering spirits of her ancestors home. As their presence gathers, warm and unseen, she kneels in quiet honor, listening to the pulse of their sacred wisdom, to the echoes of their old magic. Then, with a smile that is part joy and part sorrow, Reka calls to her sisters, the coven of mystic moons. They join hands and begin their dance, a spiral of joy, a circle of farewell. Their steps weave blessings into the earth, lifting the spirits gently toward the realm of the dead. Even those whose deaths were cruel and unnatural are not forgotten. Rika offers them peace, so their hearts may rest, and their hands do no harm to the living. The dance becomes a bridge of light between life and death, sorrow and joy, memory and magic. It is said that as long as the lanterns are lit and the dance is kept, the world will not forget the lessons of the dead. For the spirits bless those who remember and turn away from those who do not.